Well, I tried to do the twist, but I got tangled up. It takes two to tango with a paper cup. There's a brand new dance that's sweeping the kitchen. I can do the locomotion, but where's the beef? The bony macaroni just gets stuck in my teeth. Perhaps some mashed potatoes great, but why need we discriminate? Do the food, 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 do the food.
Welcome to this episode of Junk Food on the Road. Today we are going to talk about
a recent trip to Toronto.
In fact, we are actually on the road on the way home from Toronto.
So it is once again a junk food on the road. So that's the background noise you're hearing.
Yeah. Our car, other cars.
Other cars. And occasionally we might have to stop talking.
Yeah.
If somebody cuts us off.
So we just spent a week in Toronto, and so we weren't eating like we normally do, so we figured, and some of it was junk food, so we thought we'd talk about some of the junk food we ate while we were in Toronto.
There's a lot of junk food.
There was a lot of junk food. There was some good food that is still probably not extraordinarily good for you, but it was like homemade scones, which were amazing.
Yeah, those were amazing.
They were made with chunks of white chocolate and dried cranberries.
And love.
And love. They were just they were like nice and crispy on top, and just the right amount of crunchy on the bottom and super soft in the middle. And shout out to Marie for making like some really awesome scones.
And if for some reason I can get the recipe, I'll post it with this podcast.
Nice.
So share the love.
Share the love.
So I'm trying to think let's think of some of the places we ate that's kind of different. I mean,
Well, the loaded pierogi.
Loaded pierogi. I don't know how big it is. We just actually we're driving out of Toronto, and we were just in Bowmanville. We stopped there for lunch on the way out, and I saw loaded pierogi in Bowmanville. So I know it's not just like a downtown Toronto thing, but I don't know if it's sort of a Toronto area thing.
Well, we certainly haven't seen it where we live.
Yeah, and although we don't really go out much in Ottawa, so
That's true.
it's possible there. But if a loaded pierogi is basically, they have three different things to choose from. They have pierogies, mac and cheese, and poutine.
Yeah.
And then they have a series of like different toppings you can get that go with it. So it's like cheese, sauerkraut, different meats, and so you can choose. First, you choose your base, which is your pierogi, fries, or mac and cheese. So we went with pierogies because it's called the loaded pierogi. The pierogies are just potato pierogies.
I think they were supposed to be potato and cheese.
Yeah, I think there was potato and cheese. I mean, they were fine. And then
they give you a choice of crispy, boiled, or half and half. And so we both chose crispy because yum.
Yeah.
They weren't that crispy, but they were pretty good.
But then we were puzzled by what half and half
is.
What
half and half is.
Whether half of them are crispy and half of them aren't, or whether it's just sort of like slightly crispy.
Yeah. Or boiled first and then crisped.
Well, but most crisps are like...
I get that. I know that.
Yeah.
But, you know, what's in their head I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, so we got the crispy, and then I got they call it the Cabbage Patch, which had Brussels sprouts and cheese and I think some fried onions, and it was okay.
Yeah, and I got the beef brisket, which I held the barbecue sauce, but it had beef brisket, caramelized onions, and cheese curd.
Now, I think your cheese curd is the best example of the problem that we came across with this place.
Yeah, when they said that it comes with cheese curd, I thought that they were just talking about the substance, but there was one. There was one cheese curd.
Yeah, I had like a small pinch of cheddar cheese on mine.
And the beef brisket was really just more like thinly sliced roast beef, and it was just a few tiny little slices.
My Brussels sprouts were fairly plentiful.
Oh, that's good.
That was okay, but definitely they call themselves loaded.
That was not loaded.
Loaded, no. It was like loaded. To me, seems like it should be something extreme, like oh my god, there's so much of everything. But
it's just more like sprinkled.
Yeah, it's decorated.
Decorated with a few slices of beef and a cheese curd.
Yeah. So, I mean, good, but I mean that could just be the location. Maybe if you go to other locations, it's crazy and it's a bit better. But the one we went to was sort of, it was good, but it wasn't like I didn't feel like I had some kind of extreme loaded pierogies. I just had some pierogies with some, accoutrements.
Yeah. You want to talk about the House of Parliament?
Okay, so the House of Parliament is this bar that we found, bar pub.
It's a British pub.
British pub. I went inside.
We didn't find it. We were directed there.
Yes.
by our friends who ate something from there in front of us, and we just sat there drooling.
Yeah.
So we met them in a picnic park because of COVID.
Yeah, and so they were socially distancedly eating their food while we were sipping on Tim Hortons teas, and we were sitting there going, why didn't we get that instead?
Like, where do we get this thing?
And so we asked them, and they said it's the House on Parliament?
House on Parliament or House of Parliament?
I don't know. Look up either one. I'm sure you'll find it.
House of Parliament would be more clever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's on Parliament Street in Toronto.
And
like downtown.
their whole thing, their brisket is like their thing.
No, it's not brisket.
Or their
prime rib.
Prime rib.
On Sunday nights.
Sunday nights they have a prime rib, and then afterwards on Monday they have a prime rib sandwich special, which is where they take all the extra prime rib and they shave it up and turn it into sandwiches.
Oh my god.
But they have the sandwiches all the time.
Yeah, it's just the special for
Special for Monday
And
because
apparently it's the best prime rib.
yeah.
On Monday.
But it was pretty intense in it. I didn't eat. I had a little taste and it was good. Allison said it was a little salty.
By the time I got to the end of the sandwich, the salt was a little overwhelming. It was absolutely delicious. It was in this beautiful gravy, and it came with like caramelized onions and
It's crazy bun.
this crazy, like super delicious bun as well. Like I tried a piece of the bun, it tasted like, light melt in your mouth, like spiced garlic bread. It was amazing. Like it's like savory garlic bread, not spiced like hot. But yeah, the salt I don't tend to like eating a lot of salt. I like the taste of food, so I like salt as a flavor enhancer. But when you can actually taste the salt, I'm not a big fan, and it did get very overwhelming with the salt taste.
Yeah, keep in mind that Allison likes low sodium bacon, not because it's healthy, but because it just doesn't have as much salt in it.
Yeah.
So.
I've been eating full salt bacon all week, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, so I mean I don't think it was overwhelming. Probably it wasn't poorly overwhelming. It was just overly salted for your liking.
Well, I don't know. It was very, very salty. There might be others who tend to like salt who might also find it overwhelming.
Mm.
Like I find it extremely overwhelming.
Okay. So, and I got a burger and it was good.
Yeah.
It was really good actually. It was really good. Maybe a little overcooked, but I prefer my burgers a little overcooked than undercooked. So if you're gonna go that direction, that's fine.
Yeah.
Very friendly there. Very nice. I don't know if they're listening to this, but the guy was so friendly, I thought he was hitting on me. So, I mean, that's pretty good.
It is kind of right in the gay village. So.
I don't know, but.
And you are quite cute.
Well, shucks.
Do you want to talk about Chicago?
Chicago? I think we might have talked. I can't imagine we've had this podcast and not mentioned Chicago-style pizza in Hamilton. Like, that seems.
We had to go to near Niagara Falls, not in Niagara Falls. We had to go there for a family thing, and so on the way back to Toronto, we stopped in Hamilton.
As one does.
As one does. We had two plans for Hamilton, but COVID made everything close too early. So we managed to get our Chicago-style pizza, which is like a deep dish pizza with crust on the bottom and on the top. It's like, and the filling is about 1.5 inches thick.
Yeah. And the Meat Lovers has the wonderful name of No Self-Respect.
And yeah,
and
I still respected myself in the morning, but
yeah.
I love meat.
The other thing that we tried to get some donuts. Like the one thing that Hamilton is known for, and if you're not from Canada, this may be a little odd, and if you're not from the Ontario area, this might be interesting to you, is that Tim Hortons was founded in Hamilton, and so there's a Tim Hortons location there that has.
For those of you who don't know what Tim Hortons is, it's coffee and donuts basically, but now they have sandwiches and soup and stuff too.
Just watch if you're American, just watch the last 2 seasons of How I Met Your Mother and you'll understand it.
Oh yeah?
They make lots of references to Tim Hortons.
Okay. It is in the States now.
Yeah, it is. And in other places too. UAE.
Shanghai.
UAE.
Philippines.
Yeah, Philippines. So
Bangkok, Thailand.
Yeah,
has 2 shops.
So commonly, place, but very Canadian. And so, but we didn't go to the first Tim Hortons. I've been there before, but it's just a regular Tim Hortons. But in the past, we had been to a Tim Hortons that sold a special Timbit, which is like a donut hole, and it's a sour cream chocolate glazed.
Yeah. So it's not it's not a chocolate donut that has that nice crispy glazing on it. It's a sour cream, sort of plain but made with sour cream donut with that crispy glazing, but in a chocolate form of it.
Yeah.
And apparently it's really hard to do, and there's only like 6 Tim Hortons in Canada that still make these.
And one of them is in
Hamilton. We don't know if they're still making them because they closed like literally 5 minutes before we got there.
Yeah.
And so we tried to go to another donut shop that isn't a Tim Hortons, but it basically makes former Tim Hortons donuts.
Yeah,
ones that have been discontinued.
It's called Grandpa's Donuts, and I guess the Grandpa.
Oh.
So the notion, the cleverness of the title is, some grandpa is telling their kid about, well, when I was a kid, you used to be able to get the peanut donuts at Tim
Walnut
Hortons.
Crunch.
And a walnut crunch. And the kids are like, I don't know what that is.
Long John.
What's that? What's that, Grandpa? And so this guy, brilliant person, decided to open up a donut shop that basically specializes in discontinued donuts from Tim Hortons.
And it was supposed to be open for an hour later than the Tim Hortons ones.
But COVID.
But then we got there and there was a sign in the door saying, sorry, we're not closing at 7, we're closing at 6 because of like municipal COVID rules.
Yeah.
And
So.
it's like, okay, so thwarted twice.
So, but we got the pizza.
If you ever go to Grandpa's Donuts in Hamilton, drop us a line and let us know how it is.
Yeah, I'd love to know how it is. And we'll try it some other time if we ever get back there. Hopefully it lasts. Long live Grandpa's Donuts, because I think it's a brilliant idea. I don't know if it's an international chain or a national chain even. I don't know if you'll survive that way, but I think niche locations, people really would love the idea of having retro
Tim Hortons Donuts.
Tim Hortons Donuts sounds like a brilliant.
I was like fully expecting a walnut crunch, and I was like really sad.
Yeah. So the other thing I tried, which was also in Toronto, was Craig's Cookies, which is a place. I tried the one in. It's in Church Street. It's on Church Street, and I think there's other locations, but we got it like a 6-pack, and we had a friend who we chopped them all up and we shared them, so we could all try different types, and they were okay. I will say that Craig's Cookies makes a good chocolate chip cookie. It's fun that they put stuff in it, but if you get like their Pop-Tart cookie, it's not like there's Pop-Tart throughout. It's just a chocolate chip cookie with a piece of Pop-Tart mashed into it.
Like right in the middle.
Like right in the middle.
Tiny piece.
There's a few exceptions to that. Their brownie cookie seemed to have like brownie batter mixed in, which was kind of neat. So it actually created a different texture. And
the litmus test of good cookie is the macadamia cookie.
The white chocolate macadamia nut, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, they make a good cookie. I'm not like the worst Craig's cookie is still a very, very good cookie, but it's just some of their things you're sort of like you could do better. Like you feel like if you're doing such a good cookie, you could do so much more than just mash a Pop-Tart into it and call it a Pop-Tart cookie.
Yeah.
Like you could do something.
Although I have to say their Gay Pride cookie looked spectacular with all its tiny little M&Ms in it,
Mm-hmm.
and all throughout. But they actually went a little bit overboard on the tiny M&Ms.
I liked it.
Did you? I thought it had too many little tiny M&Ms.
But it still had chocolate chips as well.
Yeah.
So
I just found that there was a lot of the little candy part.
You don't like candy though.
That's true.
So I understand that. I liked the texture in it and everything. It was surprising. It was the surprising one for me. I thought I wouldn't really like it, but I kind of got it because it was pretty and fun. But I thought, it probably won't be the best one. But it was actually in my top 3 or 4 at least.
And then what did you finally have your first of?
Where did I have my first?
You were just talking about it before we turned this thing on.
Oh my goodness, I don't
Your
know.
sandwich.
My sandwich. Oh, I had the Popeyes chicken sandwich that everybody goes crazy about. I tried that out, and it was very good. I would say it's the best chicken sandwich I've had. I've had Mary Brown's. I've had KFC like a long time ago and McDonald's a long time ago, but not their sort of recent attempts to copy the Popeyes chicken sandwich. But it was very good. Like it was really amazing.
I had a bite of the chicken and it was like super nice. It was way better than the chicken tenders.
Yeah.
And like the chicken tenders, you expect them to be like that one part of the chicken breast that they call the tenders, but it's not. It's like these massive sort of swaths of chicken breast, and I got like the smallest you could get, which was like 3 tenders, and I think I skipped dinner that night because it was just so much.
Yeah.
Which I guess is a good thing. Like maybe next time we'll share some tenders or something, but
yeah, or just split it.
It was good. It was yummy, but it was like your sandwich was just so juicy.
Yeah.
And the batter is so crispy. It was like the best. It was definitely like far and away way better.
I mean, this is a lot of people talk about this, the simplicity. It's a bit of mayo and pickles. And it's like, it's fantastic. Like, why mess with it? You got a nice piece of chicken. You got a piece of bread to help hold the chicken. Why start adding like a million ingredients in there when you don't have to?
It's all you want. I mean, the chicken is definitely the superstar of that sandwich.
Yeah. And it was big too. Like, it was a huge piece of chicken. Like, it was like the size of my fist.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think of, well, I mean,
we cooked at home a lot. So
We
we found something that you can't find in Ottawa. In the Loblaws in Toronto was a Portuguese style roasted chicken, and like that was yummy.
They also had shawarma flavored chicken. Remember they had?
Yeah, they had. We didn't try that.
We didn't try that, but they had it, so
yeah,
that's kind of fun.
Yeah, so it's like there's a little bit more available, even in like your regular Ontario grocery stores. There's still like more interesting stuff available. In Toronto, it's like the big center. It's like 52% of the people there were born outside of Canada, so you do get a little bit like cooler variety of stuff.
Okay, we're going to talk about this, and I know that you're not thinking about this now, but the minute I mention it, your brain's going to flood with like opinion. Street meat.
Oh yeah, I had some street meat.
So, okay, Toronto hot dogs.
We're not calling out New Yorkers. We're just saying you don't understand hot dogs.
You don't understand. So they call it street meat, so it's like a hot dog, and that's about it. But it's like Toronto hot dogs are like barbecued, not boiled.
They're huge.
They're huge. With COVID, unfortunately, you can't put your own ingredients, and the woman who cooked her hot dogs very well.
My 3 strands of sauerkraut.
Yeah, like 3 strands of sauerkraut, and all my pickles were at one end of my hot dog. But still a very tasty hot dog, and something we definitely recommend if you're in Toronto and you're thinking like I just want something quick on the road. The street meat is very good, and it's legendary. There's certain ones that at least there used to be that were like the best. But in general, you're gonna do okay on it. And even the hot dogs, the cheap hot dogs, are closer to like a sausage than sort of like they're not like your sort of store-bought little hot dogs. They're like actual sausages, and then the sausages are just even bigger. So there's definitely a lot more to it, and apparently cheese is not allowed right now. I don't know if that's a COVID thing. The city cracked down on them for a while.
Yeah, there's also like a mayonnaise problem, but I got mayonnaise on mine. So
I think they were allowed to keep mayonnaise if they could keep it cold.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they keep everything sort of inside their little box now.
Yeah, but that could be a COVID thing.
It's totally a COVID thing.
So, but they dress them for you and whatever. But that was that's one of the things we like to do.
The bun was a tiny bit freezer burned on the ends. I was a little disappointed because it was my first street meat since 2004.
Yeah.
So.
It wasn't perfect, but even imperfect.
It was still, the sausage, like the wiener itself, was everything I remembered it.
I like the all beef. She likes the chicken.
Yeah, the chicken.
And they have vegan ones. They have spicy sausages. So it's like you get a whole range of things to choose from too. So it's quite good.
I just remember a long time ago having street meat with a friend, and we were asking the vendor about the vegetarian wieners, and he got all upset that the other vendors didn't make the vegetarian wieners right, and it gave them a bad reputation, and he was holding up one of the wieners and wiggling it in front of us, like telling us how you properly cook a vegetarian wiener. It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we got at the same time was soft serve out of a truck.
Yes.
Now, it's funny because when I was a kid, there's ice cream trucks in the United States, and then there's ice cream trucks in Canada, and I was always under the impression that they were the same thing. But then I realized that most ice cream trucks in the United States just sell like boxed, like.
They don't have soft serve?
I don't think they do. Like, people don't really talk about soft serve out of trucks. I don't know if that's a thing everywhere in the States, or maybe it's only where I've heard about it. But if you're from the States and your ice cream truck sells soft serve, like you do it like.
And this is not like your Dairy Queen soft serve.
Or IKEA soft serve.
It's less sweet and so creamy.
Yeah, it's really creamy, heavy, and the chocolate tastes like chocolate.
Yeah.
It doesn't just taste like a slightly less vanilla-y vanilla.
You can get chocolate, or you can get vanilla, or you can get a chocolate and vanilla side by side.
Yeah, like a swirl, twist.
A swirl twist. They call it a twist.
Okay. And you can get dip if you want.
I don't know why you would want to do that.
I used to be okay with dip.
I know, like some people like it, but for me, it's the ice cream is the star.
Although I will say that the sort of to make this COVID related, the person who had the ice cream truck, she had a piece of plexiglass, for safety, which is great. But she had like a little hole at the bottom which she had to pass the things through, and she had our ice cream cones, and we got the medium, which I can't imagine getting a tall through this hole. But she sort of had to flip it through, and like there was this acrobatic technique to get it through this tiny hole through the plexiglass.
And you got to give her credit. She sanitized her hands between every customer.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
In general, I will say that restaurants seem clean. Like all the fast food places we went to, I will say that there were patios and stuff, particularly near the end, that seemed to definitely be breaking.
Well, when they moved to phase 1 of the reopening, everybody treated it as like it was all over and it was time to just go out.
That was a little chaotic, but in general, I found the other thing I noticed in Toronto, which I really liked, and particularly we were around the Church Street area, which is where we're going to eventually be living. There was bars selling on the street during and it was safety.
Yeah, you get like takeout beer
and drinks and mixed drinks and everything.
Yeah.
I love that. I gotta say, if COVID does one thing, I'm not a drinker, but the idea that a bar can sell like a drink for you to go, it's like if you're old enough, like
even if it's like to go with food, it's like a little like single serving bottle of wine to go with your takeout pasta or whatever.
Because how many? I'm not a drinker, but I have drank in my life, and how many times if you go out to a restaurant to get something, it's like, oh, well, let's stop at the store and get like a bottle of wine to go with it. It's like it's just so nice that if you could just go, hey, you know what? Let's just get it there and just take it with us. And I think I don't understand. Well,
I don't think any other country has such strict drinking laws as like Canada and the U.S.
Yeah, although even U.S. and even Quebec, we're talking Ontario has stricter laws than a lot of Canadian places, and you can't buy booze in a lot of regular stores. Like you can't go to a 7-Eleven.
Now.
Can't go to 7-Eleven and buy booze.
You get it in the grocery store now, and that's new.
And that's a sub store basically within the store though a lot of the time, or but it's I understand, it's sort of like I understand it, but I sort of don't. And so it was nice to see this. To me, this seems like such a benefit. I went to Key West once, and the bars actually are half out on the street. You can just take your drink at a bar, and they give you a plastic cup, and you can walk down the street. And you know what? I think sometimes that's okay.
Yeah. I spent my early 20s in Japan, where you go to the beach and you get thirsty, so you go up onto the beer vending machine on the beach and get yourself a beer and go sit on the beach.
Yeah.
Nice cool beer. And,
if you're going to be drinking and causing trouble, then the problem is you're causing trouble, not the drink. The drink could fuel it, but one drink on the street isn't going to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
It's a silly thing. So I'm hoping that this is sort of Ontario heading that direction.
Yeah.
I like the LCBO, which is the liquor stores, because they're it's a Ontario. It's actually funded, and but I'm sure it's very profitable by the Ontario government. But it's very well organized. So if you want to get specialty things drinks are very you can get you can get a vintage bottle of wine and order it to your store, and they're very sort of. I had a friend who worked there, and you have we have a relative that worked there.
Well, I think he worked at headquarters.
At the headquarters, but they're very well organized. And it used to. My friend who worked there, who worked at one of the stores or one of the distribution centers, said that you could get anything and have it sent to a store, even a $1,200 bottle of champagne. You can order them, and they have the systems to get them to the store. So it's a really great thing to have. But I just feel maybe it's not the end all be all. Maybe there should be a little bit of opening, particularly bars and restaurants should totally be allowed to do to-go's orders.
Yeah. Like I said, even if it's the rule is that you have to order food to be able to take out booze.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. So hopefully that's the way it is. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. We got some other stuff.
We had some wood-fired pizza that was okay.
Yeah, I got.
First day patios were
ate a lot of Crispy Crunch bars for reasons.
We had more Crispy Crunch bars than you usually see at the checkout stand in the grocery.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that.
We had some little bags of potato chips and pierogies. Yeah.
I think that's a lot of Wendy's.
Some Wendy's.
McDonald's.
An A&W at one point, I think.
Yeah.
But that's it's just normal stuff.
For us, at least.
Yeah.
A&W, though, in Toronto.
Well, I mean, we don't eat out or take out very often at all.
Yeah.
But when we do, we have like Swiss Chalet, Wendy's, and A&W are our 3 sort of favorite places to hit.
Yeah. Although A&W in Toronto is really digging in. Like, there's a lot of new ones.
Like, from where we were staying downtown, I think there were like 4 A&Ws within like a 5-minute walk.
Yeah, so, I mean, good on you, A&W. We enjoy your burgers, so...
Love their burgers.
So, you know, good. We're not disappointed
And
by
I love their sustainability principles.
it. Yeah, hopefully they're keeping that up while they're expanding.
Yeah.
'Cause that can be difficult.
I think that's why they're expanding, though. They managed to like hit that niche market, and turned out it wasn't so niche.
Yeah.
Big demand.
Big demand. So more restaurants. See what A&W Canada's doing and follow them, because, you know, or at least what they're claiming to do. So hopefully they're still doing it now, because it was.
I believe them, because like, I mean, you can tell quality food when you eat it. Like, if it doesn't have quality ingredients, it doesn't taste the same.
Yeah, they also talk a lot about supporting local farmers and stuff like that too. So hopefully
they do that.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're doing that. So, but I think that's it.
I think so. I think we've yammered for about like 40 kilometers. So.
Yeah. So thanks for listening to another episode of Junk Food on the Road, and while we're actually on the road, as always, you can follow us on Twitter at Candy Critic, or go to candycritic.org and find links to all the other social media and stuff like that. Also check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/candycritic. There you can get bonus content and fun bloopers from other videos I do, and a weekend video, which I've got to tape because it's already Sunday. And snack facts. You can get the entire library of snack facts. By the time this goes out, snack facts will hopefully be done, and you'll have potentially access to the entire library. So you can check that out. So I think that's it. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Well, I tried to tell you, but I got tangled up. It takes 2 to tango with a paper cup. There's a brand new dance that's sweeping the kitchen. I can do the locomotion, but where's the beef? The bony moroni just gets stuck in my teeth. Perhaps a mashed potato's great, but why need we discriminate? Do the food, 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 do the food. Somebody scream! All the ladies in the house say, I wish I had never been born.
I wish I had never been born.
All the fellas in the house say, somebody please stop this never-ending river of pain.